That's nice, honey. Sit down and have your breakfast.
Will we put everything in a covered wagon and head west?
What?
That's the way it always happened in the movies. First they blaze a trail through the forest, and then the settlers climb into the wagon, and California, here we come.
And now, wait a minute. Who's blazing the trail?
The men.
What men?
The trailblazers.
Well, here we go again.
What trailblazers?
The men out in front of our house.
Well, maybe I better go have a look.
Oh, it's nothing to get upset about, dear. Finish your breakfast. Now, Trish, tell me exactly. What were those men doing?
They notched the tree in front of our house.
There, you see. I told you it was nothing to get upset about. They merely notched the tree in front of our house? Oh! Did you hurt my tree?
I blazed it, ma'am, but that didn't hurt it.
Supposing I took that saw and cut a gash in your side, would that hurt?
Yes, ma'am, but I'm not a tree.
But unfortunately, because if you were, you'd be standing around looking beautiful instead of charging about hurting people.
I'll handle this, Swanson. A problem, madam?
Yes, that man hurt my tree.
Now, your tree's hurt will be of short duration.
Why?
Because your tree's going to be cut down the very first thing tomorrow morning.
Over my dead body.
Oh, I sincerely hope not. Good day, madam.
Now, just a minute. The city has no right to come on my property and cut down my tree.
You're absolutely 100% right, Dr. Stone. The city has no right to come on your property, but this is not your property.
That's ridiculous. I've been paying taxes on this property for years, and I can prove it.
All land 4 feet from the edge of the street paving is technically the city's and may be used as the city sees fit.
Well, they better not see fit to try to chop down my carob tree.
That is not your carob tree.
Oh, yes, it is. I call it my tree. I've always called it my tree. Have you ever called it your tree?
Well, no, why should I call it my tree?
There, that proves it.
Mrs. Stone, the land the tree is on belongs to the city.
I don't care whether the land belongs to the city or not. That is my tree.
How can that be?
Well, I watered it and fed it since it was a little shoot. I mean, when that tree was thirsty, where was the city?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Mrs. Stone, that hasn't anything to do with anything.
When the rights of a citizen conflict with the city or state, the rights of the state shall be preeminent.
Beautifully put, my boy. Beautifully put. Now, if you have any complaints, you see Commissioner Trimmett, room 854.
Well, I don't care what that commissar
Commissioner,
says.
you should, Mrs. Stone, because if the commissioner doesn't countermand the edict,
That tree will be cut down.
at 8:30 sharp tomorrow morning. Good day, Mrs. Stone, Dr. Stone. Right boy you got there.
Alex, they can't do this to us, can they?
I'm afraid they can, darling.
Mom, the philosophy of governmental domain may occasionally produce inequities. However, in the long run...
Dear, why don't you use all that marvelous municipal government knowledge to protect my carob tree instead of trying to help that man to cut it down?
But he's right.
And your mother's wrong? Fine course that turned out to be. Alex, what can we do?
Well, darling, you know there's an old saying, you can't fight City Hall.
That may be true. But when they come over here to try to cut down my carob tree, they are fighting me. I'm Mrs. Stone, and I would like to see Commissioner Trimmett right away if possible, because if he doesn't countermand the order, they're going to cut down my carob tree.
Mrs. Stone, are you registering a complaint?
Oh, I most certainly am.
Then you'll have to go to room 506.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was told that Commissioner Trimmett was the man I had to talk to.
Commissioner Trimmett is the man to talk to, but first you must have a pass from the Complaint Subdivision of the Administrative Efficiency Branch of the Works Department.
Oh, dear. And I'm in such a hurry.
It's a time-saving device, and no exceptions are ever granted.
I see. Yes, well, 506. Thank you.
This is serious.
It certainly is, because they'll be over and cut it down the first thing in the morning. I mean, that's why I'm in such a hurry.
Bonnie Fortescue? Bonnie, this is Helena Whitcomb in complaints. Bonnie, we have a real problem on our hands.
They've already blazed the poor tree.
Well, I have a Mrs. Stone here. She's just filled out an 841376924C complaint about cutting down her tree.
It's a carob tree.
Her carob tree. No, I never heard of it either.
Well, they're mentioned in the Bible. Well, not mine, of course, but carob trees in general.
I don't know if she's yours or mine.
Who, me?
Well, it's a sticky wicket, Bonnie. Jurisdictionally speaking, she might fall in shrub trimming.
Oh, well, it's not a shrub. It's a tree. It's a carob tree. And it's not being trimmed. It's being cut down. I mean, that's why I'm here.
Mrs. Stone, please. I'm having enough trouble already. Why, no. I never have considered myself a fly specker, Miss Fortescue. But since I have no recourse but to insist on a duplicate form from your department. Mrs. Stone, you will go to room 604 and fill in a 735-6948.
Yes.
We'll all be better off.
I wonder.
What have you there?
Time-saving devices.
You may see the commissioner now.
Thank you. Ah, Commissioner.
Mrs. Stone.
Well, you're...
Commissioner Trimmett, at your service. Now, if I can just look over these forms.
Why didn't you tell me that this morning when you were out in front of our house? I wouldn't have had it. What?
You didn't put in your maternal grandmother's birthplace.
I don't know it.
Well, now, an unfilled form technically might be considered an unprocessed form, and hence,
You may not hear my complaint.
I have to consider that possibility.
Commissioner Trimmett, if you don't hear my complaint, I am going straight to the mayor.
I can see we're going to be fast friends, Mrs. Stone. Of course. Sit down, Mrs. Stone. Mrs. Stone, I'm no pettifogging bureaucrat. I'm no stickler for red tape. There you are, all processed. Now, you just wind up and toss that old complaint bitch right across home plate.
Oh, well, thank you. Commissioner Trimmett, please don't cut down my tree. I love it. It's almost like a member of the family. It's a carob tree, you know. They're mentioned in the Bible. St. John's bread, you know, the locust tree that fed St. John in the wilderness. Well, it's very precious to me. As a matter of fact, to all of us. It's part of our life. So please don't cut down my tree.
Mrs. Stone, I'm not the kind of man to leave you treeless.
Then you won't cut down my carob tree?
Of course I'm going to cut down your carob tree, but I'll give you a brand new tree in its place.
But I don't want a brand new tree.
Would you love your new tree?
But I love my old tree.
That's not progress.
I don't care. All I want is my plain old carob tree.
Mrs. Stone, look at it this way. You're not losing a carob, you're gaining an elm.
I don't want an elm tree.
Today you don't, but tomorrow you will, because tomorrow everyone on Elm Street will have an elm tree.
What?
Staggers you, doesn't it? My plan for the future. Operation Uniformity.
You tell me you'd cut down all our beautiful old trees and plant spindly little elm shoots?
Exactly.
Why, how could you think of such a thing?
Oh, Mrs. Stone, trees are a headache to me. Kittens are always getting stuck in them. And trees are messy.
Messy?
Well, they don't have nice posture. You know, they either lean this way or that way. But when I get finished with your street, Mrs. Stone, it'll all be straightened up, neat, trim, and beautiful.
Horrible.
I can see we're not going to be friends, Mrs. Stone, but let me warn you, don't make an enemy of me. They don't call me the Tiger for nothing.
Commissioner Trimmett, I am going to fight you every way I possibly can.
Are you threatening me?
Well, if you start chopping at my tree, I say, let the chips fall where they may.
That's what I say.
So I ask you, women of Elm Street, are we going to be passive victims to regimentation? No. Slaves to conformity? No. Thank you, women of Elm Street. And remember, united we stand.
Yes. How does the rest of it go, Donna?
And divided our trees fall.
Oh, it's very good, Donna.
Oh, thank you, Louise.
Donna, I hate to be a traitor, but I talked to Dave, and
And he doesn't care if they chop down your tree?
I can't believe it.
he says they won't chop down our tree.
Why not?
Because we already have an elm.
Oh, that does make a difference.
But no, it doesn't really, Midge. Because after all, we're fighting for a principle involved. I mean, some commissioner telling us how to live our lives. I mean, did you explain that to him?
Well, Donna, I tried, but all Dave kept saying was you can't fight City Hall.
Oh, but you've got to make him understand.
Sure, but how?
Tell him it's as if the commissioner said all the houses on the block have to be painted pink.
Dave couldn't care less.
Why not? He's colorblind.
Oh. Tell Dave it's as if the commissioner took all of our own dogs away from us and gave us Airedales.
Donna, that's it. Dave hates Airedales. He'd be furious.
Well, everyone would. Nobody wants to live like that.
No, except Commissioner Trimmett.
Yes.
I wonder.
Have you got an idea?
We would like to see Commissioner Trimmett.
Miss Featherspoon, I told you no interruptions.
Mrs. Stone is here with the delegation.
Well, I can't see them.
You'll have to.
Have to. Have to. Miss Featherspoon, have you run amok? Have you taken leave of your senses? Who are you?
1, 2, and...
This is the world of the future. We are the women of Elm Street. We dress alike, and talk alike, and think alike, and we are miserable. Who made us this way? You!
Me?
You! Is this what you want?
Well, no, ladies, I want you to be happy. I have all those nice new elm trees ready and waiting for you. You love them.
1, 2, and...
We don't want uniformity. Do you want us to be like this, Commissioner?
Well, ladies, what I'm doing is in your own best interests.
1, 2, and...
Trimmett, turn back before it is too late. Remember what our forefathers said in 1778. Don't trod on our trees.
They said, don't trot on me, and it was 1776.
This is close enough. 1, 2, and...
As far as our trees go, Trimmett, your slogan should be, don't trim it, trim it.
So, you staged this demonstration to intimidate me, did you? Well, ladies, I'm made of sterner stuff. You'll find that the tiger can't be buffaloed. Those trees come down the first thing tomorrow morning.
Go to the end. 1, 2, and...
We shall fight you in the streets. We shall fight you on the landing fields for our beaches.
Beaches?
Oh, that was my line. I have a beech tree. We shall never surrender.
All right, ladies. If it's war you want, it's war you'll get. All out. Total.
To the exit. 1, 2, and...
Hello, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. Yes. Oh, Your Honor, what a coincidence this is. Well, I was just telling Miss Featherspoon how thunderstruck I was by your wisdom, your insight in memo... Find the memo. In the memo number, I would say that was one of the finest documents I have seen, number 574319085C, if memory serves me correctly. Yes, Your Honor. You ran into Mrs. Stone and her group in the hall? Oh, I am sorry, Your Honor. Drop Operation Uniformity? Never. I mean to say, Your Honor, I would never suggest a thing like that to you. No, Your Honor, I'd never, no. Well, if news of this got out to the press, there might be repercussions. Yes. Yes, Your Honor, I guarantee that I'll get Mrs. Stone and her group to disband tonight. Yes, thank you, Your Honor, thank you. Yes, thank you.
How will you get them to do that?
Of course. Divide and conquer.
Tomorrow? we must be prepared for the encroachment of bureaucratic regimentation.
I'll give $2.
You what?
Well, I know it isn't much, but every little bit helps.
Julie, the encroachment of bureaucratic regimentation is what we're against.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, what do we do?
Well, the plan... Shh. 1, 2, and...
Well, Mrs. Stone, you're just too tough for me. I admit it, you've won.
Oh, hooray! Hooray!
You drive a hard bargain, but a deal's a deal, though. I never thought I'd round them up.
Round up what?
The carob trees. The whole street's going to be carob trees. Didn't you tell them?
Tell them what?
Oh, Donna, how could you?
I didn't make a deal with...
We're going to have conformity with carob trees.
Yes.
Well, Mrs. Stone, do I win?
I'd rather lose a tree than a friend.
Of course, and we'll just go right ahead with Operation Uniformity. And the Marching and the Whistling Society will disband?
Yes. Donna, we did our best.
We tried. Good night.
Night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night to you, Mrs. Stone. You put up a good fight, but that's the way the tree topples. Morning, men. Good morning, good morning.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning, Mrs. Stone. What are you doing up in that tree?
Reading?
Well, stop it this instant and come down here.
This is my home.
It is not your home, it's a tree.
Couldn't a tree be a home?
Of course not. A tree has leaves on it.
Oh, well, look at that house. It has ivy climbing up the walls.
Mrs. Stone, I warn you, I did not come here to bandy words with you. You are trespassing on city ground.
But I'm not on city ground.
Well, you're trespassing on a tree that's on city ground.
That doesn't sound right.
No, it doesn't.
You stay out of this. Come down from that tree.
Home.
A home is a place you live.
I live here. Thank you, dear.
This has gone far enough. I warn you, Mrs. Stone, come down out of that tree or I'm ordering Swanson here to chop it down. And if you're in it, well, that's the way the carob crumbles. Do your duty, Swanson.
Oh, I can't.
Don't be a mutineer, Swanson. Remember what happened to Fletcher Christian. He was hanged from the yardarm.
Oh, no. He went to Pitcairn Island and lived happily ever after.
Never mind. She's only bluffing. The minute you start chopping that tree, she'll skedaddle right down out of it.
Oh, I'm not so sure.
Perhaps you'd like this definition better. A home is a place of refuge and rest. Now, you have no idea how relaxed I feel up here.
I'm glad, Mrs. Stone, because I'm having a nervous breakdown down here.
Oh, would you like to come up?
No, I'd like you to come down. I didn't come here to play word games.
Well, a home is a house in which one lives.
All right, Mrs. Stone, call it a home, call it a house, call it a honeymoon cottage. Just get your head out of the clouds and your feet on terra firma now.
Then you agree it's my home.
Yes, it's your home, and I'm coming up there to drag you out.
Girls, did you hear what he said?
Yes!
Under City Statute 34592, notice of eviction proceedings must be posted on the house no less than 90 days prior to the eviction.
Did you post said notice?
Of course not.
Then you can't evict me from my home.
But that is not your home.
But you just said it was.
Yes, and we heard you.
She sure got you hogtied, Commissioner.
Esprit de corps is certainly not your middle name, Swanson.
Oh, no, it's Waldo.
Never mind. Get that ladder up there. I haven't climbed a tree in 30 years. I'll get up here. I warn you, Mrs. Stone, drop these legal shenanigans or it'll go hard with you. Now, what can you possibly hope to gain? A few days' delay? What good will that do you? Oh, the TV news truck.
Oh, good. You know, my husband had the nicest chat with them this morning.
Oh, when the mayor hears about this, oh, my.
Commissioner Trimmett, what are you doing up there?
I was just telling Mrs. Stone that I've reversed my decision on Operation Uniformity.
Yay! Well, I'm delighted, Commissioner, but I still don't understand what you're doing up there.
Oh, well,
I'm afraid it was my fault.
Your fault, Mrs. Stone?
Yes, because I became so angry with the commissioner. Because of his previous position, I told him to go climb a tree. And, well, being a good public servant, what else could he do?
of course, what else could I do?
Let's hear it for the commissioner. Hip, 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 hooray! Hip, 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 hooray! Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray!
Thank you, citizens. I'd like to say on this momentous occasion that even...